Teamwork. Tuesday, advanced class mythology learning. Honor Society deadline is coming up due next Friday. Thursday, not tomorrow, we have your narrative speech begin, which I have the paper handout here, but if you're not here, I can't help you. And then we do have a book report checkpoint coming up tomorrow, which for you guys is 12 squares. Yes.
There's a 1 instead of an exclamation point.
Get your attention.
Go.
What a special day. Alright, this was the other class, and that's you guys. We can skip all of these. Going, or just locking up. That's also a solid choice.
Maybe you should yell at it and maybe it'll.
It's not a random R.
You gotta hit it.
It stands for regular.
Oh, okay.
Or right now it stands for really angry.
Okay, this is
Yeah, that's always.
reading really
Actual post.
Rage also works. What actual April? Yes.
Is this part going to be in the video too?
No, we're any purple.
Don't even go there.
Best video ever. We just suddenly stopped working. We did.
Maybe it's
There. Not quite sure how.
Yesterday my mom was hit a kid with her car.
Oh, I was gonna say, was that you and mom getting in trouble?
I kind of get in trouble actually. I know that's surprising because I just think all the time. Oh my god. But at home, my brother's always grounded and stuff because he's just a teenager. And he gets all sassy. But I'm never grounded. No, but this high schooler was being an idiot and playing chicken in the street. On a really big road.
And we're back.
Yeah.
We're back. That was fun. Hey, now it works. Let's see how far we got with you guys. Last time we got through the first several of these, so we'll make sure, once again, if you have them in the wrong spot, you can either draw an arrow and put them into the correct spot, or you can erase it and rewrite it into the correct spot. I'm happy either way. Do make sure you have the date and title at the top, so I wouldn't have to come back and yell at you and be mean to you on that point. And we would, of course, have it open in the first place to make things a little easier. Yes, dear?
I know where chaos goes.
And where does chaos go?
Everywhere.
Why does chaos go everywhere?
Because it's a big bowl of
Because I'm
lightning
here.
stuff.
No, it's a big bowl of chocolate pudding.
So we have...
Chocolate pudding.
Yes.
Oh, actually it's a big square.
Because it wasn't open that we were going on. Chaos is, of course, the big ball of swirling pudding, which was the first thing to exist in Greek mythology. Then eventually it splits to become the first two gods, which was Mother Earth and Father Sky, which we'll get to those coming up. Then, see, Kronos. Where does Kronos go? He was a god, and once again, he's the one that's over yonder above Andrew, who's wearing the cheerleading skirt while looks like he's trying to get golf. He also had the... I don't have any idea what Andrew does. I was talking about the guy above Andrew. If that's what Andrew does, that's his own. Up here, it's kind of hard to see with the lights on sometimes with the reflections, but he's wearing a little cheerleader skirt that's adorable, and he's got a big old scythe where he's using to go golfing. There's going to be Kronos, who also was the very first he invented killing your parents.
Oh,
Thank you. Someone had to.
Yes.
And he also invented...
I love my mom.
No, he did not. He invented... No, he didn't.
You invented eating your children.
No, because his dad did the same thing. Well, his dad didn't eat his children. His dad just tried to kill his own children. So he did. He changed it. He did come up with the eating of your own kids as opposed to locking them in jail.
Eat your own kids. Hamsters.
Creativity.
Yes.
And Hades. Where does Hades go?
Me, I know.
Nicely done.
That's my husband.
Also, where else could Hades go?
Things.
Also goes in places. Because Hades, once again, not talking about Andrew's weekend activities. The guy over here who's all dressed in black with the dark fingernails. Hades was
That's
not...
my friend Destiny. That's my husband.
I'm glad you guys brought up, once again, as we mentioned last time, that this is the unit where kids lose more points than any other one. because the whole enjoying learning and just yelling out and talking whenever things pop into our brain, especially when we're busy working and having other issues. Anyway, so Hades, once again, was not evil, even though if you saw that in the Hercules movie, Hades was actually just antisocial and didn't like other people. He was the goth kid that sat in the back of the classroom with the black fingernails and wearing the black all the time, playing the bass guitar and stuff like that. He just didn't want to deal with people. Nor was he very creative, which is why he called the place that he created Hades. So when he had to go live a place, he said, hey, I'm going to just name it after myself, and we're going to call this place Hades. So Hades was called Hades. Yes, child?
Hades reminds me of Gracie.
Yes, they would be very similar. Other child?
My husband's Hades.
That's also awkward. And did we get to Underworld?
It is.
So let's get to Underworld. With Underworld, does Underworld, say, raise your hand, does it go in gods, places, things, other stuff? Underworld is a place. It is actually the same place as Hades, because the Greeks believe that you were not allowed to say Hades' name out loud, because Hades was very grumpy and did not like people. It was assumed that every once in a while, if you were to say the name Hades out loud, that actual Hades would show up and then you would be angry and then take you back down with him. So if all of a sudden Blanc made a poor choice and was forced to kill her in class, like a demonstration to other kids who don't do homework and then talk, they'd be like, oh no, Blanc is dead, she's down in Hades. Hades himself would show up and say, hey, did you call my name? We're like, no. We're talking about Blanc. You're like, you said my name, so now I have to kill you. And then Hades would take you back down. You're like, no. So because of that, they would never say his name. They always referred to him as the rich one, the dark one, the angry one, the grumpy one. And then the place where he lived, they had to give that a nickname too. And they were not creative because they were Greek. And so his place was under the world. So they're like, what should we call this place? Let's call it Underworld. They're like, nailed it, and they got all excited. So that's why it was called the Underworld. Tracy.
So like they weren't allowed to say his name because like the Beetlejuice rule or something.
So it was sort of the Beetlejuice, also the Bloody Mary rule. So the same idea. Yeah, you can never go into the bathroom and turn around 3 times and say Hades out loud because if you showed up, bad things happen. Yes.
So it's like the State Farm commercial. You say like a good neighbor State Farm is there, and all of a sudden like.
Very similar connection. That actually commercial is based on Greek mythology.
No, it's not.
Not even a little bit. Then we get to Titans. And do Titans go in gods, places, things, other stuff? You just didn't place it at all. I protested. Just checking. Titans goes in gods.
Oh, I was
And,
right.
what we're going to get into is all of the pictures that you see, those are all Titans. According to Greek mythology, a Titan was just the very first beings that were born that looked like humans. They were just really tall, big, godlike, creature-y type things that could change their shape, could live forever, and could smash humans whenever they wanted. All of the Olympians are Titans. All of the friends of Olympians are Titans. Pretty much all the ones you can think of, most likely Titans. And so Titans was just the ones. Now, once again, Mr. Brovicast, I saw that Hercules cartoon, and the Titans were big, ugly monsters. Yeah. Almost everything in the Hercules cartoon is wrong. You know on your little story that you wrote down at the bottom there, where you just had to use random words and plug them into a story? Almost identical to what Disney did. They just said, hey, let's just take a big story, pull out random Greek words and throw it in there, and we'll see if we can just confuse kids forever after. And they're like, high five! Psh, and went out there and made a movie. But very little about that movie is actually connected to Greek mythology. I mean, they use words from Greek mythology, but the actual storyline, not Greek mythology. It's just there to torture you. Then, Vulcanize. We'll jump to that one next. Gods, places, things, other stuff. Vulcanize, other stuff. It comes from Roman mythology, actually. It comes from the god Hephaestus, and then his Roman name was Vulcan. And Vulcanize means to melt stuff because Hephaestus / Vulcan was the god of fire, like setting your B-points on fire when you just have too many of them or trying to get rid of them, something like that. Johnny?
For the Titans thing, are all Titans gods?
Yes.
Oh.
But not all gods are Titans.
It's like a story.
It's like saying all 7th graders are humans, but not all humans are 7th graders.
Okay.
Picking up what I'm putting down?
Wait, but what if
Okay.
Well, that sounds like you'd be in the book. Pandora. We'll get to that one. Does Pandora go in gods, places, things, other stuff?
Wait.
Mr. Brody, that's a music station.
Wow.
Pandora goes in gods.
What?
Pandora was, technically, goes back and forth. She was a human, but she was created by the gods and lived with the gods, so we sort of lump her in with the gods. Pandora, in Greek, her name is made up of two parts, Pan and Dora. Pan meaning everything, Dora meaning small Hispanic girl who plays with monkeys.
Yeah.
And so when you that was an easy setup. And so Pan meaning everything, and then Dora meaning the knowledge and beauty and stuff like that. And so Pandora was actually created because you put all these good things into one spot. She was created, it's the story of Pandora's box, where she opens it, we'll get to that story. But Pandora was actually a girl, and she was created by putting all these good things together to create one being. The music station, Pandora, it's called Pandora because it's where you take a whole bunch of good things and you put them into one spot. That's why they called it Pandora. If you saw the movie Avatar with the big blue people,
Yes, that's like one of my
the
favorite
planet they live on is called Pandora. Why? Because it was supposed to be the idea of all these good things came together in one spot.
Mythology everywhere.
I'm just going to keep moving on though. I'm just going to plant little thoughts and just going to bother you, and then we're going to just let you sit there so you talk out loud. Narcissists! And we'll get to that one. Gods, places, things, other stuff. Narcissus goes in gods. Technically, he's a nymph, so he's not a titan. But he'd still be in the god area because the nymphs kind of live for longer than humans and all those things. And Narcissus is a guy that we'll get to a story about who fell in love with himself and ended up looking into the water because he made poor choices. And so that would be Narcissus, who was Narcissus, the nymph. Don't worry, I'll be ignoring you guys also, just like I ignore them too. I'll give you time at the end to yell at me. And Styx.
I need more than just a little bit, Mr. Brovicast.
I know. Styx, gods, places, things, other stuff. Styx also goes in two locations. Styx was a titan. She was a god. But during this big war, at the end of it, she made a choice because she was not a good, I would say person, but not a good person. She had a horrible personality, was evil, was mean, lashed out, was very caustic. But she helped out Zeus. And at the end of this big war that Zeus had, Zeus granted her one wish, that she could have anything she wanted. And so she chose to become a river. And so he made him, because she became a river, and her personality was so horrible, the river she became was poisonous and toxic and would kill anyone that touched it. And he realized you can't have a river like that just like hiding in the woods, because someone would show up and die. So he took that river and stuck it in the underworld. So she started off as a titan and then eventually became a river. So she's both a god and a place. Unless you consider a river a thing, and then you can put it there, but I consider a river a place, but she is a river. But it started off as a titan. And then once again, above Andrew, it's hard to see it in the picture of Gracie, but right behind it is a little rivery thing, and that would be the river Styx. Almost any time you see anything with the underworld, that river that they get to is the river Styx. And it is thought that if you were to touch it as a human, it would kill you or suck your soul or bad things would happen. Depends on the version of the story. But at no point could you take a cup of water from it and just be like, oh, I'm thirsty, and then toss it back. It was bad in all ways because she was not a good person. Still going to have to wait. We'll get there. I'll give you time. I know. Just write down all your anger and bottle it up. Scythe! If we answered every question, it would take us 4 weeks just to get through this one page, and there's so much more learning to come. Scythe. Gods, places, things, other stuff. Scythe. Wiggle fingers. Scythe is the weapon that he's using right here, the golf club that Kronos has in his hand. It's what he uses to kill his father. I will bring one in like next week or the week after when we get to him, so you guys can play with it.
What?
Because I care. Scythe is, I put it as a thing because it's a weapon that you guys get to use. Yeah. Writing down your questions will help because that way when it comes back and I get a chance to call on you, you'll be like, I just remembered I wanted to yell at you. That's not going to be very helpful. Harpy. Gods, places, things, other stuff. A harpy is a creature. And it depends if you want to put a creature in a thing or in other stuff. A harpy, we know, harpy is half woman, half
Bird.
good. And specifically, ugly women. Mermaids were attractive women. Harpies were always ugly women. I put that into other stuff myself. Harpies were never like pretty. You would never want to date one. Like mermaids, like, oh, they're so pretty. Harpies were always horribly ugly, nasty. They smelled. Their hair was all in different, like Medusa with normal hair, and so ugly, horrible birds, and they attacked you. If you're familiar with how monkeys attack people at the zoo and what they throw, harpies would do the same thing. That's what harpies were known for attacking, and they were all diseased and not good creatures at all. We'll get through one more, and then I'll give you the opportunity to yell. Uranus. Gods, places, things, other stuff. Uranus, Father Sky. Technically, we could do both place and a god, because he was a place, he was the sky, you could travel through him, and they did, but he was also a god, and you could have conversations, and you could talk to him. He also managed to commit murder, and so, well, he attempted murder, and did get murdered, so I guess that also would make him a god, but he was not a titan, because he was actually all sky-like, if you will. Pause, so that you guys can yell at me your many issues. Wash.
The river
Styx.
yeah, was that in the movie Hades? No, not Hades.
Hercules?
Yeah.
It was. I mean, that was probably one of the things I got correct. It was a river and it was Styx.
It was a whirlpool in the movie.
See, I tried. I gave them a moment, and they're like, nope, gotta ruin it. Amaya,
I have a scythe at home.
I'm proud of
I
you.
want it.
Trayson?
Didn't Kronos, didn't he use like a sickle to kill his dad?
There's difference between a scythe and a sickle. There's a sickle that has a handle on it, and a scythe is just a stick. At the time, they just said it was a scythe. If you look at the Grim Reaper, his usually is a sickle, because it's a stick with the big blade that comes off, and then a sickle just has the handle so you can hold on to it. It's just the difference between like a sword and a dagger.
You said sickle twice.
Did I?
Yeah.
Scythe, no handle. Sickle, handle.
Okay.
That's the only difference between the two. Yes.
The river Styx did not kill Achilles. That gave him like immortality.
It did, and that was because of the stuff he was dipped in. They had to cover him in special goo that reacted to it, chemical reaction.
No.
Yes.
No, they just
Yes.
held onto his like ankle.
Yeah, after they coated him in special stuff.
They did not coat him in special stuff.
Once again, one of us is right, one of us is you. Captain!
Challenge accepted.
Okay, first of all, did we know that the river Styx, it doesn't have anything to do with chemical reactions. It's magic. There's no chemical reactions. And Narcissus wasn't a nymph.
Okay,
Yeah, he
He was
was.
a human.
I know. You guys have the best stories ever. Mo!
Couldn't harpy also be a feeling? Because when I get home from school, I get harpy.
Oh my gosh.
Fact check!
What's a nymph?
What's that? What's a nymph? It was their version of like elves.
Oh, I
They
don't
had
know.
water nymphs, they had tree nymphs, and it was just, they had little pointed ears and they ran around and lived in the trees and stuff like that. Except Katniss, she cut off their ears, but all the rest of them had little pointed ears.
What?
I know. Katniss has her own issues.
Why?
Mohammed,
Is that why Achilles is like
immortal except for the heel,
Except for the heel.
because that's where his mom had to hold on to him, because she couldn't touch the water, but he was safe because of the stuff that was on him. That Tracy believes
There
they washed
wasn't
off first.
anything on him.
Once again, if only we'd cover the fact that there's different versions out there. We're gonna have to stick with this one. Oh my goodness, we've covered
Why do
all
we
the
have to do that
information.
one?
We're gonna have to rage. Go home and punch a pillow. Maya.
Why do they keep fighting with you?
I don't know, because they think they're gonna win because they're adorable.
Can you call them idiot children?
No, that's just in my thoughts. Jabon!
Do you have pictures of harpies?
Actually, you just go onto this magical thing called Google. You can type in harpy.
Yeah, but if you're lazy, do you have one?
Oh, wait, my laziness also. Tracy, do you want to yell at me some more?
Yes.
Oh, time's up.
Grayson!
We
Break
will
it down, break it down.
I know what I'm doing.
come back and start on this one next time, and then eventually get to like actual learning and less yelling at me. Take off.